today on 15 on 15.
Auto Parking has announced that paid parking meters will be regulated depending on your monthly income. Plus, 2 killed during a UCLA campus shooting. And TEDx 2016 is confirmed.
Thank you for joining us on another edition of 15 on 15 right here on Channel 15 TV with Daniela Piazzi. Let's get started with our latest local news topics. It has now been up to 6 months since the Autobus announced the paid parking initiative in the downtown area. Although there was quite some hesitation at first, the community has slowly learned to adapt to the new system. But to transition from a hefty price of 60 florins per month when it was completely free beforehand is not so simple. Therefore, in efforts to cater to the entire community, the monthly fee will be adjusted depending on your monthly income.
In September of 2015, the paid parking meters were implemented. Now, for the visitors of the downtown area, a small fee must be paid to park your vehicle. However, many have tried to avoid this fee by parking in dirt road parking lots that are jammed across the city center. And for those who do decide to give in to the 60 florin monthly fee, Auto Parking does not have any available spaces for purchase. This dilemma has led to a substantial amount of drivers getting a tire clamp for parking in unregulated spaces. But this is not the only problem for the locals and employees of the downtown area. But frequent visitors of the island have also been caught off guard by the newly implemented system. Therefore, during a press conference with Auto Parking this week, they have announced a change in their monthly subscription options. As of the 1st of July, under the petition of the Ministry of Tourism, the Prime Minister, and feedback from the Aruban workforce, the decision has been made to adapt the parking rates according to monthly income. This is a big decision for the parking company, which up till now had stayed firm on their prices. For those with a salary of 1,700 or less, the monthly parking permit will cost 25 florins. For those with salaries up to 2,000 florins, the fee will be 35 florins. For those with an income under 2,500, will be 45 florins, and for those above 2,500, it will remain 60 florins.
In other news, over the past week, delegations from the Parliament of the Netherlands, Curaçao, Aruba, and St. Martin have been in The Hague, Netherlands for the Inter-Parliamentary Kingdom consultations. The 4 parliamentary delegations discussed a number of issues that interest all countries within the Dutch Kingdom and have now come to a solid agreement.
Aruba, Curaçao, and St. Martin will be representing one common proposition for a dispute regulation at this week's inter-parliamentary consultation for the Kingdom IPKO in The Hague. The 3 Dutch Caribbean countries worked out the last technicalities during a tripartite on Monday. A solid agreement among the 3 countries is especially important now that Dutch Minister of Home Affairs and Kingdom Relations Ronald Plasterk has gone ahead with the process of establishing a kingdom law for dispute regulation without the support of the Dutch Caribbean countries. The parliaments agreed during the previous IPKO in St. Martin in January this year that the dispute regulations would define 3 major aspects. These are that it will be carried out by an independent body, secondly, that the decision of this body will be binding, and thirdly, that it would cover a wide range. These principles have been incorporated in the draft Kingdom Dispute Regulation Law, in which a special, newly established court would play a main role. Monday's meeting was also used as to deal with other issues, such as the findings of the work groups in different areas, including education, youth and youngsters, discrimination, integrity, and public health.
Turning the page, after many interactions via the press between the Ministry of Tourism and the Aruba Hotel and Tourism Association regarding the all-inclusive legislation, the 2 parties will finally meet face-to-face on Thursday afternoon to find common ground to move forward.
Strong propaganda has been published by both the Ministry of Tourism and HATA, voicing their opinion, both standing firmly by their decision, and no one seems to want to budge. Therefore, the Aruba Hotel and Tourism Association has asked for a cooling-off period where all parties can get the chance to think about this topic further, gather data, and professional opinions before the new legislation is discussed by Parliament. Now, both parties will be meeting on Thursday afternoon to find common ground where both have accepted to keep an open mind to hear proper statistics, data, and findings by both parties. In previous meetings, both parties have seemed to stay firm on their points of view, but it is hoped that during this reunion, we will be able to have a clearer picture on the outcome of the all-inclusive situation.
We'll be back with more 15 on 15 after a word from one of our sponsors.
After the break, we have more details on the Los Angeles campus shooting.
Thank you for staying with us right here on Channel 15 ATV. The UCLA campus in Los Angeles is on lockdown after 2 men were shot and killed this morning. Both local and federal authorities arrived on campus after the shooting, which happened in a UCLA engineer building. UCLA students who are still in school through June 10th were asked to go to a secure location while authorities searched for the shooter, and details on the victims have yet to be released.
The entire University of California Los Angeles campus was placed on lockdown after a shooting on Wednesday morning that left 2 people dead. Law enforcement sources have now confirmed that it was a murder-suicide involving 2 men. A note and a gun were recovered, and the incident took place inside an office inside the engineering building. The man who was killed was William S. Klug, a professor of mechanical and aerospace engineering. Dozens of students and professors took to social media to give updates as the situation unfolded. Some students reported that they were unable to lock their doors and needed to improvise methods with belts, printers, or tables to attempt to keep their doors locked. One student, Jade Bates, which in fact has family right here in Aruba, was forced to barricade the doors with grand pianos. Together with her entire class, they waited in silence until further notice from the school.
I was in class this morning, and one of the kids was looking at his phone, and he got an alert that said that we all needed to go on lockdown because there was an active shooter. So right away, the whole class evacuated into the classroom across from us, which is a band room, which is one of the only classrooms that actually locks because there's instruments in there. And we barricaded the doors with the pianos and turned all the lights off, and everyone was really quiet. And it was kind of scary because everyone was getting information from the outside, and so we had reports that there were multiple shooters, that there were 4 shooters, and at one point we all received information that the shooter was going around to classrooms, knocking on the door, pretending to be a police officer. So we were told not to open the door under any circumstance. This turned out not to be true, as the shooter had shot himself.
Turning the page, many U.S. veterans prefer to spend their Memorial Day weekend peacefully by the beach here on the island. During this year's celebration, groups of former servicemen and women gathered in Aruba to remember those who died while serving their country's armed forces.
It has practically become a tradition by now. Since 2002, on Memorial Day, hundreds of American local veterans gather on Eagle Beach to pay their respects to those who have fallen in the line of duty.
In 2002, the 5 members, my son, my husband, Frank, Griff, and Kyle, started it. They were down by the sea, and my daughter was behind a chickie taking pictures of it. They put a few flowers in the water, and somebody was walking along the beach and took the flowers and went off. That started the whole thing. The next year, it was a little bigger.
On Memorial Day this year, U.S. Armed Forces veterans gathered on Eagle Beach at Costa Linda to honor all of those who had paid the ultimate sacrifice in service of their country.
Our first was just the 4 people in 2002. That we walked down to the beach, and our wives made a wreath from flowers they picked, and we put it in the sea. So it has grown, obviously, very much from that time. And as you can see, the number of people. At first it were 4, then the next year 10, then the next year 15.
Frank Nini, who was part of the group to start this tradition, served in the U.S. Air Force for 4 years in Spain.
I was in the service for 4 years. I was stationed in Spain for 2 years, 1957 to 1959. But during that time, I saw no action. But I served for 4 years in the Air Force.
Moving forward, this week the Aruba Bank Challenge set off with their first of 4 races on Tuesday evening, a 5.5-kilometer run which joined hundreds of athletes from across the island. Hundreds of sports fanatics joined together on Tuesday evening for the first of 4 Aruba Bank marathons. The race, which has practically become an Aruban tradition, was completely sold out. Aruba Bank has expressed their enthusiasm with the Aruban community for their dedication and yearly involvement for the race. Individuals, companies, couples, and groups all participate for either the fun or, of course, the cash prize. The variety of categories for the runners includes age ranges between the ages of 14 years up till 60 years old. But for day 1, the overall winners that took home the prize were Mariana Stamper with a time of 23 minutes and 32 seconds. The second woman to come in was Verdeca Melidis with a time of 23 minutes and 50 seconds. Third female athlete to reach the finish line was Clara Shamira with a time of 24 minutes and 9 seconds. For the men, William Brian Diaz came in first with a time of 17 minutes and 23 seconds. Second male racer was Alfredo Pirela with a time of 17 minutes and 27 seconds. And third place went to Johannes Valks with a time of 19 minutes and 15 seconds. Our colleague from Noticias Winochi, Ronnie, also participated and came in 16th place with a time of 29 minutes and 54 seconds. We will have more English news right here on Channel 15 ATV after a quick commercial break. When we come back from the break, we have more details on TEDx Aruba 2016. Thank you for staying with us right here on Channel 15 ATV. After a successful TEDx event in September of 2015, where 13 speakers shared their vision for a sustainable island of solutions, this year the team is at it again for another inspiring conference. And this year's theme will be What If?
Last year at TEDx Aruba, we wanted to create a wave of positive vibrations, a wave that would start at the beautiful island of Aruba, but would then conquer the world of ideas. And we succeeded, so we thought, what if TEDx Aruba isn't just a one-off, but will go on and on and on? That's why I'm very proud with this second edition of TEDx Aruba, and I look forward to see you there and then.
After the success of TEDx Aruba in 2015, the organization has announced the event will once again be taking place on September 23rd of this year. The president of the event, Elton Arends, has expressed that the first event, which had 12 speakers, was completely sold out with over 550 spectators in the Casa de Cultura auditorium. The room was not only filled with local tech enthusiasts, but also visitors from the United States, France, Curacao, the Netherlands, Suriname, Canada, and most importantly, over 200,000 people watching on YouTube or on live stream. Even viewing parties were held in cities such as Miami, Bogota, New York, and The Hague. With the event's great success, they have decided that the conference would not be just a one-time thing and launched TEDx 2016. With last year's topic exploring an island of sustainable solutions, for this year the talks will surround the topic of what if, with unimaginable boundaries to talk about. For more information and registration, you can visit TEDxAruba.com. Thank you so much for watching. These were your local news updates and trending Aruba topics. Be sure to like our 15 on 15 Facebook and Instagram page for all of your latest news updates. Also, don't forget to tune back in tomorrow night at 7:15 p.m. for more 15 on 15 right here on Channel 15 ETV. See you then.